One of the biggest things that we saw a big difference with when we started getting our force plate data is realizing how important the front leg actually is within the swing. At first, again, you're like, okay, lead leg blocking, all these other things, concepts that people talk about. But the front leg isn't just, one of the biggest things that we learned with force plate data is the front leg isn't just a block, or a decel, it actually is an engine. It's really important for rotation. And this is one of the things that we look at inside of our force plate data. We can actually measure exactly how much force, not only how much the front leg is accepting, but how much it is creating, right, to create these rotations. It's super intricate. We're going to kind of talk about over the next couple of weeks. We're going to talk more about this force plate data and what we saw, but also let's get into some things that we actually look at of how we actually go about creating that lead leg force, which is so important within the swing. So a major thing that we discovered after we started going through force plate data is that one of the things that was different between some of our hitters that weren't as good and our elite hitters was how and what direction they were engaging with the ground. So again, a lot of our non-elite hitters, they were blowing out a lot of their energy or their vectors, right, or direction was blowing out towards third base side. They're spinning off, all those other things. Our elite hitters are actually driving towards home plate. And if you think about it, as I drive through home plate, what it does is it drives my front hip out of the way and it clears it so that they can create torque and turn the corner. But a lot of hitters can't get into their lead side because they have asymmetries, they might have restrictions, all those other things too. So we have to work on those things, and that's why we started developing tools that really helped with this. The funny thing about this is when we first started developing farm boards, we didn't know, right? We always saw when hitters would swing, their front foot would actually slide towards home plate, and we didn't know why that was happening. On the force plate, it actually revealed the same thing. Again, that's that driving towards home plate where it clears the front side. This is a force that they're creating. And again, you might never have a force plate, but what you'll see on a farm board is the vector or the direction that we engage with the ground. So a lot of the bad hitters, again, if they're jumping out of their backside, any of those things, or spinning out of their backside this way, right, you'll see the board spin out and do this thing instead of, as they swing, the board sliding towards home plate. So this becomes a really useful tool if you don't have a force plate, which a lot of people obviously don't, is that, again, you can see how a hitter actually engages with the ground. Another tool that we came out with because of our force plate data is we came out with the Farm Board Max, right? The main reason we look at this too as well is we'll have hitters go out of like an open 45, and then as they swing and they use their core engaging and rotating into their front side, the board will actually turn into the ground this way, which is just torque, right? And when we get the board away, it might look like this. As we actually swing, the legs might look really anchored, you get this really clean rotation, but this is a tool that we developed because a lot of athletes were having a hard time engaging with the ground or having enough feedback if they were using the ground useful or not, effectively or not, right? So in any case, these are two little tools. We use them in a bunch of different ways, but again, those were developed because of the ground force data and what we saw with our most elite hitters. And Paige is actually a perfect example of this. When she first came in from Oregon, she was a shortstop, has some strong asymmetries in her pelvis. She had a really hard time leveraging her front side, getting into her front side for adjustability, power, all those things, and also to her attack angles. All these things were all dictated by some issues that she had within her body. As we utilized some of these tools and actually taught her to engage with the ground in a little different way, again, her force patterns, you can see that she leverages her front leg way different than she did before. And again, in my opinion, was a big factor of why her performance skyrocketed as well.